Right, so we're going to get started on the next star. I have all of the components arranged here in order. We're going to start with the first column here, and this is for our center star, okay, and these are for further star legs and final star legs. All right, so our star today is going to be a little bit tricky, so you just need to pay a little bit of attention, hence the reason why I have laid them out. I would advise you to lay out the parts for the block as I have laid mine out. This is the second block I am making. I've already done the first one. Remember, we're doing 2 of each of the stars. All right, now what I want to say though is that it's a little bit tricky. However, you do need to just give yourself a little bit of a concentration so that it comes together quite easily. All right, we're going to be making some flying geeses with these lots up here. Now you can do it in 2 ways if you would like to change the cutting directions. So you can make the flying geeses using the quick method, which is using a square and then angling them in different ways. I mean, you can look it up, but if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. All right, in all honesty, I made the first one with the quick and easy flying geese, but I'd already had these strips cut, these rectangles cut, so I'm going to just go ahead and use them up. So you're going to start with your rectangle, and all you need to do is put them, these just smaller squares, front side together, and you are going to make more or less your flying geeses, i.e. sort of half square triangles, however you're not trimming off. So I'll make 1 or 2 and I'll demonstrate for people who are new at this. All right, so we're going to start with the 4 strips and the 8 squares, small red squares. Again, I'm using what I have, okay, again in the Christmas fat quarter. I just want to make sure it's all in the shot. Right, so again, I'm just going to simply you need to draw a line on the back of all of the red squares from point to point, and then we're going to sew on that line. Once you've done the first one, then you trim away, but I'll demonstrate rather than talk it through. So I'm going to go do all of them again, chain piece, so that it goes by very quickly. So I would ideally do this with all of them, and then go ahead and chain piece the first half. Alright, so these are your flying geeses all done. Let me just make sure these are not interfered with. Alright, so we're almost finished with the first column. Okay, so the next step is to start building the block, so that it's just simplified so that you can get it started. So we're going to make a star in the middle. So make sure that it's not green touching the center. We want the red touching the center. Just make sure that is correct. If you are doing green touching the center, what you're making is literally a square in a diamond. All right, so just make sure you get that in your head. But we want red touching together, red touching the center. So the red, so you can see the star legs. All right, then our smaller squares now, they fit into the corner. All right, so we're going to sew this together as we would normally a 9 patch. All right, so the 3 rows together, second rows together, and those rows together, and then we will move on to the next stage. All right, so our sawtooth star is now completed. Beautiful little star in the middle. Okay, Jackson is snoring, so you're gonna have to zone him out. So our next objective is to make some half square triangles. All right, so we need the white square and the green square, again working with the second column now, and all you need to do, as is done before, to make half square triangles is to put the 2 different colors together, draw a line, and we are going to cut them open. All right, and sew them back. So that is all we need to do with this one. So I'm just going to get them all ready here. I'm going to pair them up, and next I'm going to sit and chain piece all of this so it goes by very quickly. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I need 2 more squares. What did I do with it? All right, I will find the squares and then I will move on and come back and show you what I need to do next. Okay, so the next stage now is to square these up. So make sure you have a ruler that has a long line from point to point, and you're going to take that diagonal line and line it up with the line or the stitch line that gives you the visual effect of the half square triangles, and you're going to trim it up. So you're going to do all of that to these squares. While you're at it, if you wanted to, you can do the same thing for these ones here as well, but we will get to that. So these here are the same process of making half square triangles, the third column, because we're almost done with this column. So if you wanted to, when you're making these half square triangles here for the green and white, the red and white, you can do the exact same thing, so you get it done in one go. But for now, all we need to do is to square these up.
Baby, you give me ice and fire.
Alright, so now that the half square triangles have been made and trimmed, our next objective is to work with our green strips here as well, okay? And all we need to do basically is to add on the half square triangles to the green strip. Now, the most important thing here is to make sure that once you've added on the half square triangles, you want the two greens touching together. That is very important. We don't want the white touching the green. So two greens touching together. That is the angle we are aiming at. So let me just try and move this out of the way so that you can see clearly. Okay, so we're aiming at having the green to the top. So I'm going to do another one. Again, so we're going to sew this strip together. Green to the top. All of them must be angled in the correct orientation. You would know immediately that you have done it incorrectly. Okay? Immediately you would know once you've laid it out. So again, the green. So all of them. So again, we're going to sit and basically chain piece. I like to work it out that way so that the blocks are made quite easily. I mean, the trick here is to get all of the cutting done, and then once that's done, it's sort of easy peasy. Alright, so the next step, before I move on any further, I just wanted to make sure this is clear. So I wanted to repeat myself. So I have my center square here, center star, and I'm going to lay this down. So again, important, very important, ensure that you're getting that angular movement here. Okay, so then you're going to flip this over and stitch, and you're going to do the same thing again. So don't let it be upside down. You need to see that movement. Okay, you're looking for like an arrow basically. All right, and we're going to fold it over and we're going to sew along there. So the next stages is to add on the blocks. So what we're going to do now is to take two. You have some rectangles here, some are longer than the others, and we're going to take them and then add the red triangles, half square triangles, to them. Okay, so that is what we're aiming for. So we're gonna have two with the shorter and one excuse me, and the other two with the longer. So we're going to sew all of these together. I keep spinning this around. You're going to sew all of these together. So you've got your two longer ones here now. and that goes in like so yet again. So again, we want the legs up. Let me just put it up towards the camera so that it's better for you guys. So legs up, okay, so you get that motion there. You add the long one there, and same thing. Like so, and like so. So we're going to sew all of these together. So you got 2 shorter and 2 longer, and then we're going to stitch them together. And that, once we've done that, we should be able to add it around the block and finish up the block. So we're going to do the shorter ones first because they need to go on, and then we're going to add on the longer. So the same thing applies front side. So you're going to obviously make your sort of flying geese here in the middle first. You're going to sew the half square triangles together first, then you're going to bring it together. I like to take everything over on my mat, and that way I can then stitch it all together as I am sitting down. Alright, so what we need to do now is to simply add on. So I have the top and bottom added on. So we just need to add the sides on now, and then the block will be completed. So front sides together, and that's it. What I would say though as a precaution is to make sure that all your joints or your points line up correctly so that it flows through nicely. Alright, so this is the completed block. It measures 12.5. What you saw me did was I had a little bit of fabric just sticking out, so I just made sure and straightened it up really nice and beautiful. But it's an absolutely gorgeous star. You can play around with the color concept. If you wanted to, you can put green at the end rather than red if you wanted to for the further star legs if you wanted to, but I liked the contrast of having all the greens together and then all the reds together, which I think looks really beautiful. But Twinkle looks amazing. And yeah, if you wanted to, you can even start with a red in the middle and change the colors, but whatever colors you're using, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. I would not say this is a difficult block. It came together quite relatively easy. Just get yourself organized and literally have all of the cuts or the subcuts done, and you can just follow through as I did, quite simplistically. So bye for now. Happy quilting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video on Wednesday.